for the season totals, and they have games remaining. Milwaukee is 26-34. They are 3.5 games back of the play-in, but Giannis is back. Many people speculated after he got hurt January 23rd with that calf strain, he may never play another game for the Milwaukee Bucks as the trade deadline was coming up a couple weeks later. Well, not only did he plays last night, and he's probably going to play, if he's healthy, for the remainder of the season. Hello, Michelle Smallman, Chris Canty, Evan Cohen. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning to you all. Why is Giannis continuing to play? I understand he loves the game of basketball, but I don't know that it serves him, and it certainly doesn't serve the Milwaukee Bucks. What's the point of him going out there and playing and risking injury? He admittedly last night after the game said, yeah, I feel like I've been playing at a deficit, like I've been in debt, like my account has been overdrawn all year long when it comes to my physical body. Why, if you felt like that for the majority of the season, are you going to continue to put yourself out there in harm's way for a team that is going absolutely nowhere?
Protect yourself, protect your health.
Exactly. I don't understand why you want to continue to risk injury. You've dealt with this calf several times this season.
And
why would you continue to put it on the line for the next 24, 25 games? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know why he would play.
All right, timeout. I'm calling a early timeout. Don't like what I'm seeing.
Already 2 minutes in?
I'm calling timeout. I'm going to take a step back, and we're not going to make this about Giannis. We're going to make this about sports in general. What do we want from our athletes? Do we want our athletes to play at all costs? Do we want our athletes to take a step back and strategize with the team or with their own team? What do we want from our athletes? 2 minutes into a show, we are critiquing a world-class, iconic athlete who gets paid an insane amount of money that he has earned, and some. We were there. Go walk around downtown Milwaukee. That's his.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Deer District, businesses, jobs, employment, whole deal, right? What do we want from our athletes? To play? To not play? To strategize? To protect the health at all costs? When you've got a shot, which technically they have a shot, right? My team screwed everybody up. My team screwed everybody up. Because when Miami makes a run from the 8th spot in the play and everybody thinks they could do it, Miami wasn't even that good that year.
Milwaukee
they made that
has
run.
a shot at what? Please. I didn't
they have a shot, technically, at getting into the play-in.
Let's have some self-awareness. If we're Milwaukee, let's have some self-awareness. Do we really think they have a shot?
No.
So then you don't think Giannis is that good?
With what Boston did last night without Jaylen Brown?
What do we want from our athletes?
They're sitting 11th in the Eastern Conference standings, and prior to this, they've been one and done 3 straight years in the postseason. So you say they have a shot. I'm asking you at what?
Mathematically, they are still alive. What do we want from our athletes?
Aren't you the one that always says quarterbacks shouldn't play? If they have nothing to play for, they're going to risk injury. Why are they out there?
Yeah, but I'm asking the question. Forget last night's Celtics-Bucks. Celtics are awesome. Bucks are not. Celtics are going to get Jaylen Brown back, who didn't play last night. Kata didn't play. Their center, who's been great this year.
And you got smoked.
And Tatum's going to come back seemingly within a week and a half. I understand. But what do we want from our athletes? Tell me.
Well, actually, you bring up a very interesting question, particularly when it comes to the NBA, because they're the league where we have all of this conversation constantly about load management, about tanking, about athletes not being out there. The league is doing things to put guardrails up to protect their fans from not being able to see the star players in action for a variety of reasons. So you do bring up an interesting point, but I do think it's case by case. With Giannis, we know that his value is huge. He is transformational, whether it's to the Milwaukee Bucks or whatever franchise. And so with his future hanging in the balance, he has to be thinking about himself and protecting himself and his business moving forward.
I'm shaking my head no, his future's not hanging in the balance. Giannis, God forbid, could get an injury. I don't even want to project that. Let's use his last injury. His last injury could have kept him out for the next year and a half. On October 1st, they're going to offer him a 4-year, $275 million contract. His future is not in the balance in any way, shape,
but there's a question about where he's going.
I completely agree with what you're saying. His future is not in the balance. Giannis has said he's one of the greatest players to have ever played the game. There's no question about that. You asked the question about what do we want from our athletes. It's a very simple answer. We want the best athletes on the biggest stages that the game has to offer with the stakes at the highest. That's what we want. That's not going to be possible for the Milwaukee Bucks. So what's the next best thing for the franchise? What's the next best thing for the player this year? That next best thing is making sure that you don't devalue an asset in Giannis that has already missed a huge portion of this season due to injury and has told you that he hasn't felt like himself this year. If you're making the statement that he has been the most valuable player in the franchise's history.
Not debatable.
Well, why would you do anything to jeopardize the value that he represents to your team?
I didn't. He played last night. That's what he wants.
Whether or not you keep him or you trade him.
Whatever he wants, he gets.
Well, you can say whatever he wants, he gets, but sometimes in sports you have to protect the athlete from himself.
Not in this case.
It's not in Giannis's best interest to go out there and put up empty calorie stats in meaningless games where your team is going to be non-competitive like they were from the second quarter on last night, versus sitting him down, making sure that he gets to the offseason healthy, and making sure that all of your options as an organization are available to you, whether you keep him or you're going to trade him.
So back, I think in November, when we were having questions about Joe Burrow and whether he should play, and he wanted to be out there and play for his team, you suggested that he shouldn't, right? Mm-hmm. And why was that?
Well, the NFL is different than the NBA. Players run the sport in the NBA. They don't in the NFL.
Joe Burrow seems to be running things pretty well. Well,
no, he's not. That's my issue.
But
he's
I'm saying,
not running it pretty well.
Let me remove that word. He is.
He has the power.
He has the power. Thank you.
Right. But you pointed out, this is a different sport. The NBA, most people listen to us right now and say, get to the NFL. Let's be honest. And so we have to hook them, if we're going to go behind the scenes here, we have to hook them with storylines. This is a storyline that hooks them. That's why we're talking about it, right? Nuno didn't just put any random NBA game. The NBA is suffering from image problems right now. I love the NBA. I think all this stuff around tanking has been a bad image for the NBA, and people want to make up stuff about the NBA that is just not true. It is a great product with great teams and great players and great coaches and great broadcasts, especially here on ESPN and ABC. And you should watch it. We have Inside the NBA. It's fun, right? But we can't critique the NBA and sit there and say, well, look at Utah. They shut down this guy. They shut down that guy. And then get mad because the one guy who is like, no, I'm coming back because technically, mathematically, we're still alive. And if I, meaning Giannis, can find a way to scrap and claw my way into that play-in, look out. I'm coming for you. Now, do I think they're going to get in? Unlikely.
I'm coming for you.
But it's Giannis. Then you're telling me you don't believe that Giannis is that good.
What do you mean? I don't think Giannis is good enough to elevate this team to be a title contender in the Eastern Conference. No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't think he's that good.
And I think he shuts down.
Short of Jesus playing in sandals. I don't know that
Shuttlesworth?
No. Either one of them. I don't know that Bucks team is going to be able to go on a deep playoff run and get to a Final Four. There's no shot. They have no shot. So it's not a good basketball team.
I'm not saying it is. And Doc Rivers is the guy that improves the floor and lowers the ceiling. He's an interesting coach in that regard. He always improves the floor but lowers the ceiling. Is that
a compliment?
It's one of the weird. If you look at Doc Rivers with bad teams, excellent. Good teams, not as good. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Anyway, the point is this. He's in charge. They are right to put him in charge. If he says he wants to come back and play, when they're mathematically eligible, he should come back and play. The moment they're not mathematically eligible, maybe they shut him down at that point, or maybe he shuts himself down. But this is one of the greatest players in the world. One of the greatest players, CC, as you said, ever. And this is a conversation not about breaking down the Celtics and Bucks. There's going to be days for that. This is a conversation about what do we really want from our athletes, because we are coming on the air and we are critiquing an athlete from fighting back from injury to play basketball, which is what he's paid to do. I understand where you guys are coming from. I've gone to the same place, as you just said, with NFL players. But in reality, we probably, and I've made the mistake, we should all be praising someone like Giannis or someone like Joe Burrow who says, screw that. I love this thing. I'm coming back and playing.
No. I'm not praising Giannis. He's a part of the reason why the product looks like it looks. I understand you want to make this distinction between what Joe Burrow in Cincinnati is doing and what Giannis is doing in Milwaukee. But let's be clear. Giannis being unclear about what his future plans are and where he wants to play has put this organization in purgatory. They sacrificed their future by doing the wave stretch with Damian Lillard in order to make room to sign Miles Turner to a contract that he was never going to be able to deliver on in terms of the return on investment. They put this team together because they were terrified that Giannis would leave. If Giannis told them, I'm committing to this team long term and that I don't want to play anywhere else, then all of a sudden the structure, the composition of this team looks completely different. So I don't absolve Giannis of any blame when it comes to a terrible product that's on the court. Yeah, he's a phenomenal player, top 5 in the game. It's not debatable. But because of the indecision, because of the uncertainty around his future, the team has been put in a position where they have a roster that doesn't necessarily fit together and it doesn't accentuate his skill set. And as a result, you got a product on the court that's capable of getting blown out by 20 on your home court with the team that was missing their best player this season and their best big man in the last couple of months. That's unfortunate.
Coming up, Tag